What's up, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. Today I'm actually going to be doing an oil change on my 1991 Chevy S10 truck. It's been in the family for a little while. I've had it since I was 16, and today we hit a milestone: 375,000 miles. That's a really long time. This Chevrolet has held up great its whole life. I've had it since since I was driving it, maybe 220,000 miles. With all that being said, today's vlog is going to be me giving you guys tech tips on talking about oil, how to change oil, when frequency, etc. We'll get into it. I picked up my Mobil 1 Extended Performance 5W30 along with an Extended Performance filter when it came to myself racing 944 spec Porsches. There's a picture up there, and there's more. Mobil 1 came on board, sponsored me my whole racing career. We had 050 free racing oil, extra zinc. What I've ever put in this truck is Extended Performance, 15,000 miles of guaranteed protection. I still only change it every 4,000 miles because this is a very high mileage motor. And let me tell you why I use the Extended Performance. If you look on the back here of this bottle, it tells you the grades of the quality of oil. Not only that, this little diagram, but right here where it says meets or exceeds the requirements of, and those are tests. All those numbers are tests. So anyways, it passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests. 7, there's more. On the back of other oils that are cheaper, if you look at what tests they pass, it's not going to be as much as a higher quality oil. I do drive this thing hard. All my buddies know, and it's a champ. Every 4,000 miles I change it. I mean, that it says something. So we'll go ahead and... Alright, got my pan here. We'll put that under. The new one right here, I'll put everything down there with me. I'm gonna need that. Need my blue towels. I'm gonna pull myself under this. It's very tight. It's not a lot of space. Oh, one of the things about wiping down, as far as this being a 375,000 mile oil change and how the heck did this vehicle last that long, is because I take care of it. I clean it often, very regularly, if you will. Actually a lot. I have OCD. I'm a detailer. This could be a show truck. Tip, so you don't strip this, use the box end instead of the open end, because it's a combination wrench, 15 millimeter. You're not going to strip this. Put this thing on tight. Alright. Okay. Now this has about 5,000 miles on this oil, even though it can be protected, add protection for 15. Let's see how it looks. Oh, pretty black. I mean, I say black, yet I've seen worse. And the reason, if you ever wondered why oil gets dirty, is because it sits below your piston. And however many cylinders you have, that's how many pistons you have. And the piston goes up and down the cylinder wall, which is connected to the crankshaft and connecting rods. The vehicle burns fuel, which is an explosion. But you need your pistons to go up and down the cylinder wall without getting scratched at very, very high temperatures, or let alone season up. You need lubrication, so that's what the oil's for. It sits below the piston, so it gets on the cylinder walls to lubricate them. The oil gets dirty because of the combustion that happens above the piston, which then gets on the oil. Especially if you're driving at higher RPMs and you're driving faster, you're only going to increase the likelihood of wear happening to your vehicle. And about 75% of engine wear is actually before the engine is up to operating temperature. One of the things that's enabled me to have this truck for this long, go 375,000 miles, is to take care of it. I let this thing warm up, and I mean warm up to almost operating temperature every day before I go out and drive it. And then I'm easy still once I'm driving on the transmission, because there's cold transmission fluid in there, and rear end oil. I can feel that with this truck being a 91 and it being stick. I can really feel when the oil is thick. It doesn't want to shift fast. It's more difficult. The motor, when it's cold, very cold, and I start it, it doesn't want to idle high. It's low because the oil's thick, so it needs to warm up to lubricate up to operating temperature before I drive. Whatever, I'm just on rant here. Sorry. I'm not going to wait here all day. A few drips aren't going to hurt anybody. I'm going to move the oil pan close to me. I'm going to turn my phone off. Set that there right next to me. As you can see, not much room. Wearing clothes I don't really care about. Got about 18 Mobil 1 shirts This thing is hot. Only 2 hands. Okay, there we go. Shoot! It leaks all the time. Let a little bit out. Now the reason why I did the drain bolt first and then the filter, because the drain bolt where all your oil sits roughly, and now I'm draining the filter because it's higher location in the motor. Coming down, and I'm gonna place the filter. It's time to put the fresh filter on. Do this one-handed here. And what you want to do before putting it on is you have this little O-ring, okay? Here's a little tip my dad taught me, one I know he's learned from other guys. You take a little bit of oil and put it on this O-ring. And the reason is so it will be lubricated to become flush on where it mounts. And I personally even just put a little bit on the threads. As far as my whole life and started racing go-karts age 8, I've found that you get what you pay for in automotive products. Majority of the time, you know, take care of your vehicle. Yes, it costs more for more expensive items, yet sometimes they do work better, believe it or not. And in vehicles, if you think of all the parts on it and how much you rely on your let's be real, how much you rely on your transportation. Mobil 1 Extended Performance. I love this oil. My truck takes 4.5 quarts. Funnels I'm using. People who built this mid-travel kit, there's no room for me to put oil in, so I got a concoction of 2 funnels, and the one I can go really slow because the taller one is a lot skinnier. So bear with me here. Usually before this bar was in here I could pour it in way faster. Not anymore. Doesn't matter. It's only one thing you do. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Slippery. I've actually had it before with this concoction setup. Gosh dang it. Well, I just did it. I got some on the headers, on the heads. This is not really working out. Because I'm filming, that's what it is. Every vlogger would know that. Whatever. It's always different when the camera's on. It just is, okay? Yet the trick is acting like it's not on. Or you obviously you're trying not to act like it's on. Duh. Changing your oil is the best thing you can do for your engine because that's what lubricates and protects the motor from the inside out. Choosing the quality product or a more top shelf item will protect it better. But what's most important is changing it when it needs to be changed. The requirements. If you have, a newer vehicle and it says change it every 10,000 miles or every 15, do it. I know people that have gone too long on changing their oil and they go, they don't want to spend the money. And their motor's blown up. Believe it or not. Getting I'm telling you, it's a freaking camera. I've never done that in my life before. their motors have blown up. Literally, the connecting rods which connect to the crankshaft, which connect to your clutch, your alternator, your transmission, starts clunking. You ever hear a knock, 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 knock? And I mean, it sounds like a knock, 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 knock coming from your motor. I am sorry. I am completely screwing up this angle. Yeah, Tyler should have done a better job on that. Need a head mount next time. Let me know if you guys want to see that, if I should do a head mount or not. I'll do head mount. Oh, shit. Wow. I got so distracted filming this. Oh my God, It takes 4.5 quarts and I just put in 5. Okay, well, surprise! Now I got a dilemma, but I got the resolution. I know what to do. Okay, here we Adventures with Ty. Wow. Whole world's gonna see this. So I'm going to take this fresh paint. Okay, 8 ounces out of here. See if I can do it. And how I'm going to do it, it's difficult trying to film and work on cars with one hand. I'm just going to let it do this. Barely unscrew it. You can see it's fresh, brand new, it's clear. What I'm going to do, so yeah, I'm going to drain some. And then I'll put it back in that big container. That's the first time I never thought I would ever do that. In my life. I was distracted. Do this for you guys. I think that should be enough. I don't know. I'm going to tighten this bolt up before I get distracted and screw something else up. Alright, that's tight. I am going to start the motor once I close off my 710 cap up there and let it run for a minute. That will equalize or equal out the oil all throughout the motor. I will then check the dipstick level and see if I need to add any. Hopefully I've taken enough out. Things should be good. I've set it up, it's draining. Here's a quart. I did take out enough, so that's 4 1/4. Put the oil cap back on. Pull the dipstick out, wipe that off, put it back in. All right. And since brand new oil sitting at the bottom, the motor's cold, all the oil's not, and you know, everywhere to be lubricated yet, so do not floor it. Don't go drive immediately. Just as far as a safety tip, you want your things to last longer. Let all the oil circulate inside the engine before getting on it. So I'm just going to start it up right now. Oil pressure is generated from the crank spinning in above where the oil pan protects everything. All the oil at the bottom, there's pressure in it. When you start your vehicle up, it's going to have high oil pressure because the oil's cold, it's thicker, it's not as warm, and it hasn't thinned out yet, so you're gonna have more oil pressure. If you ever are driving and have low oil pressure, that's not good. That means you don't have a lot of, let's say, or enough oil in there. If the pressure is too low or your low oil pressure light comes on, shut it off. Check your oil level, don't ignore it. You don't want your motor to blow up. So let's say that's been a minute. All the oil's circulated in the motor. Shut that off. Dipstick oil level says if I need to add any or not. And to do that, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna wipe off the dipstick. So when I go measure my oil level, it's with the motor shut off. Some motors, they ask them for it on, some off. Also make sure that your vehicle is on a level surface. Here I am in the garage, where I'm not on a hill or incline where it could read possibly different. It's nice Chevy put that where the dipstick is. See that little bubble? That's dead in the middle, necessarily where that should be. Where the arrow is, it can go up to there as far as full. So I'm gonna keep it full because I want full lubrication. All I need is nearly exactly a half a quart. Almost right on the button, a half. Now I gotta reopen up the oil cap on the top of the motor, because when you start that, you don't want oil flying everywhere. Here, I'm not gonna look at the camera, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna put in a half. That should be good. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly topped off, especially if you're doing your own oil. More pressure in there. If you have too much pressure, for example, if I ran it with all 5 quarts, that would not be good. Too much pressure, it'll blow a seal, something's gonna give. I mean, that's why there's guidelines, that's why there's rules, that's why they make certain specifications. Listen to them, don't go over them, put the correct fluid in the correct amount, wherever it's supposed to go. I'll do a recap. Tips for how to make your vehicle last 375,000 miles. Let's just do motor tips, because I could go on all car tips for hours. Change your oil when it needs to be changed. Even though I have a 15,000 mile oil, I change it every 4,000 because I want it to be fresh in there all the time. Oil gets dirty, like I said earlier, gets deposits and everything from carbon. The less I can have in there, the better, because it's just gonna be cleaner. It's not gonna induce any scratches possibly in the cylinder walls, which can possibly ruin the entire motor. You might have a bunch of white smoke coming out the tailpipe, which is actually oil burning because it's getting past the cylinders or the pistons because it's below them. And then you're burning it through the top. You could clog your catalytic converter. That's an expensive fix and not a good day. So follow everything, let it warm up. I try and keep my engine bay as clean as possible. Heat is the enemy to everything, and as far as friction goes, heat is wear. So you're trying to have the least amount of wears possible from heat. So if your engine's super dirty, go ahead and clean it. You don't want any sludge, grime, excess dirty oil sitting on there. It's going to heat things up. There could be cracks. You have no idea. A leak. Something you can't see is dirty. Just clean it. It doesn't have to have everything clean, you know, so the wrong chemicals aren't sitting on components to possibly damage them. Plus, you get familiar with your vehicle so you can do this yourself and just be more knowledgeable about cars. So if you go to a shop and you need something done, you know you won't get screwed over if you got a little more knowledge. I think that's going to wrap up everything right now. Let me know what you thought of 375,000 mile, what your thoughts are on my knowledge, or what your thoughts are on this video. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe so you can see more videos that I'm going to be putting out for everybody. I could do tech tips with Tyler. What do you think? I think that's pretty catchy. I've got quite a bit of car knowledge. I think tech tips with Tyler would be great. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys have any thoughts, anything. Have a great rest of your day, morning, whatever time you're watching this. See ya.